Okay. All right. I'm pronouncing all of my syllables like this. I want to take this moment to say thank you for joining us, because you made it to see another day.
That's right.
As did we. We got chosen for this moment. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Just watching Unks in the building. UNCS Unks in the building. Resident Unk Byron here with the fantastic Auntie Stacy.
Hello.
Do me a favor before you get started. Hit that like button. You can't comment just yet because we ain't said anything. Unless you just want to say, hey, glad to be here. You can do that. You can do that. But comment at some point if you have a thought. And share thereafter. That being said, today we're back on the red couch, talking through more Reddit stories. Please continue joining us on our journey.
Mm-hmm. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Pretty good. You ready for these stories?
Indeed, I am.
All right.
Indeed, I am.
So this is from the subreddit R Advice.
This is kind of new to me.
Okay, Reddit Advice.
Mm-hmm.
So my boyfriend sent this text to his ex. Okay. So my boyfriend's ex tried to text him. At first he told her to F off and leave him and his family alone. Then a couple days later, he sent this text, but didn't tell me about this one. I kind of don't love how nice it is, considering she literally tried to break apart our family. Could he at least try to sound less trapped? This is what he said.
What does trapped mean? What is
Trapped?
Trapped. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
This is what he said. Vic, take care of yourself, please. I don't know what you were thinking getting involved with Kendall. You knew who he was and how he treated women. I can't even imagine what he put you through. That was never what I wanted for you. Take a year and focus on yourself. It's what I did, and I'm much happier. I wish you well, and I have zero ill will towards you, but I have a son and 2 stepdaughters now. I really hope you're able to find your happiness because you deserve it. You're a good girl. I just think you need to take a bit and catch your breath. I'm eternally sorry for my role in your mess.
Now I'm trying to understand what's happening here. Because it's a lot happening in that text message.
Okay.
One, I don't like the swell up where you were big and bad and saying kick rocks the day before and then come back with this soft tone. Like, you ain't got to be a jerk to everybody, but why are you showing 2 sides to this coin? Like,
well, that happens though. You get huff and puff like, how dare you? You ruined it for me. You're the one who wanted to break up. Whatever. F off and leave me alone. And then days later, be like, you know what? She's really messed up. I crossed
the line. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to message her and clean
it up a little bit. Maybe.
But he didn't mention it to the girl. Because he knew she would be pissed off at how nice he was, which is...
I think that the error of his ways came from not saying something to... her. If you would have said something to the current girlfriend, like, listen, I know she's out of pocket, but this girl got some mental health issues,
right?
And I want to deal with her a little more delicately because I can't, even though she was filed for what she did or whatever happened. He said he played a role in it, so I don't know.
Right.
But whatever happened, you don't want somebody to,
spiral
cause
deeper,
harm to themselves or something
exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
That being said, I also am intrigued by the actual text message itself, because he starts talking and he says something about basically like, you don't deserve what Kendall. No, I told you not to mess with Kendall in so many words. You knew, what did he say? About basically like she was getting with somebody who dogged out.
I don't know what you were thinking getting involved with Kendall. You knew who he was and how he treated women. I can't imagine what he put you through. That was never what I wanted for you.
So was this hey, she did some infidelity, or is this, hey, he did some infidelity, and then she messing with the friend now, and he knows the friend? It's maybe like a circle dude situation.
It could be somebody that they both know that it was a player. And, a lot of girls think, well, he won't do that with me because I'm like extra special and all that. I don't know.
All right. Well, that being said, I think that there's levels to it. Like, you can apologize to someone and not sound like there's still a real soft spot there.
But I don't think I don't think there's any
this
come back to me later on when you get yourself together.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But at the same time,
I think he treated her with dignity and grace
after she tried to ruin his family.
And we don't know. Maybe he didn't know she was with a new woman that has a son and all that. We don't know. But even if she did and she did that, I still think he let her down with grace and mercy. And told her to get herself together in a loving way. Because maybe he knows, like, she's spiraling.
Yeah.
You know the person you're dealing with. So I think, and her talking about, can he sound less trapped? Because he's like, I have a son and 2 stepdaughters now. I didn't see trapped. I saw him say, I took a year off and I'm much happier.
Yeah.
And now I have a son and 2 stepdaughters. And the stepdaughters implies that you took over the role. He never mentions her, which I think her main issue. Like, why wouldn't you say me? I have a wife or a girlfriend, a son, and 2 stepdaughters now. But I think it's implied that she's in there. And he also probably knows her to be like, if I mention this girl, she's going to hate this person for no reason, and that could cause drama. So let me just talk. It's implied with the stepdaughters that I'm taking care of somebody else's children that I take on as my own.
Right.
So I think it was the nicest way he could let somebody down.
I can see
with
that.
Taking responsibility and respecting what they had. I don't think it was bad. Not telling her was the issue.
Not telling her is the issue. I think, so just putting myself in his shoes, right? Mm-hmm. If I got hit up today by somebody who I used to be in absolute love with. Right. And which I wouldn't do to blow up to begin with. I probably just wouldn't respond, being frank.
Mm-hmm. Could you be Byron though?
Huh? Is it what?
It's a bad joke. He said being frank. I said, but could you be Byron?
Okay, you're silly and stuff.
But that's why people watch this show, so you could be Byron.
Yeah, you're right about that. I won't be Frank.
No one cares what Frank says.
Or Ernest. That's
being Ernest.
Be Ernest. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's time for that
Ernest
to stop.
Goes to jail.
Stupid. So, what was I about to say?
I'm so sorry. You said being frank, I wouldn't have sent
No. Okay, so
yeah.
I'm there now. If it were me, I probably would not reply.
Right.
There's some people who, they would text me like, "Oh, we were so in love. We need to give us a second chance. Leave your family alone."
I would get infuriated. But even though, because the thing is, it's one thing to come to you and say, I want you, but then you want to be like, and on top of it, can you disrespect the people that I know exist?
Yeah.
That's the part that has the girl furious.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, if I would have flipped out.
Off.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. So if I would have flipped out off of the first one, then came back and said, you know what? I'm a Christian. I need to carry myself as such. You know what I'm saying?
Grace and mercy.
Let me operate, how God will want me to operate. Let me not go crazy via text message to somebody who had a little vulnerable moment. I appreciate you reaching back out. Not how you reached out, but it's flattering. And then, I'm saying, I'm thinking this in my head. I'm not going to tell them, that, of course. But I would be thinking, like, you know what? That's nice of you to think that, whatever. But I would not be on some, oh, you don't deserve this. Oh, you deserve so much better. Oh, I wish you the best in the future. I wouldn't take that tone. I would just be like, listen, I need you to respect what I got going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of stop there.
That would upset me.
What?
2 things you said.
What?
The respect what I got going on right now.
Right.
Feels like if this stuff wasn't going on right now, you might have had
that's not what I meant at all.
That's what I'm telling you what the girl is hearing.
Maybe,
okay, because he said I have a son and stepdaughters that's blocking the way from us being together. That's why she feels like he sounds trapped. And then you being flattered by the person being like, I want to get back together.
No, I'm not.
That would be
yeah.
upsetting.
So this is men and women thinking completely different now.
Just saying.
I'm saying if somebody comes back, a man's ego is going to be like, this is an ego stroke. Somebody long time ago still wants me. I still got it. It's an ego stroke. The women would feel the same way. If a guy popped up out, I'm like, look at this, they're calling me again. A lot of women would feel the same way. If somebody from the, yeah. I'm still that same. He must have seen my picture on Instagram and decided to, you gonna feel a certain type of way if somebody hits you back. People do it all the time. So what I'm saying is that part, which is not going to be communicated, is going to be an ego stroke. It's going to be flattering. People like feeling attractive.
Okay.
Right? So after that, which you're not going to communicate, the next step is going to be, listen, this is a no for you. Not only because it didn't work the first time, it's not going to work now, and I have a new situation that I'm happy in that you need to respect. I don't care how much you want me. But you could see
how the girl could see.
Yeah.
You could see that, right? Okay.
Yeah. But
especially the not mentioning it part.
I think that's my biggest concern, because it's kind of like, if it were me doing that, I would say something to you. I would be like, yo,
I don't feel right about
how I handled.
What you would do,
I didn't feel right about how I handled the individual. Like, yeah, I get it was out of pocket. However, I should have handled that situation with a little more grace.
Right. I see that. That's what you would have done.
That's what I would have done.
So here are what the comments are. He's helping her come back down to reality. He told her he's very happy with you and the kids. Someone else says,
Did he say that though? He didn't say that.
He told her he's very happy with you and the kids.
Did he say that?
He said, take a year and focus on yourself. It's what I did and I'm much happier. I wish you well and have zero ill towards you, but I have a son and 2 stepdaughters now.
He didn't say I'm much happier. He said I'm happier for taking a year off and focusing on myself. I got problems with his text message. I'm not reading into it. I'm just saying.
I'm reading into. That's where I went with it.
You went there. He's saying that he's happy with the situation
now, and he's got kids.
All right, I'm taking it for his word. Hopefully, that's what he meant. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking at her when she's operating from a place of offense. She's ready to be offended.
Right.
That's what she's going to look at it as.
Someone else said he basically said he wishes her well and he's happy to be with you and his own life now. A nice way to tell her to kick rocks, basically.
Yeah.
Someone says, but he never mentioned, the OP says, but he never mentions me at all.
That's what I'm talking about.
He was saying, basically, I care about you, but I have kids now. It sounds like he's trapped, and that's just how I took it, but maybe I'm crazy. There's just been a lot of issues with him talking about her way too much, and it's left me sensitive.
Something else.
I feel like he treated her better than me. Okay, well.
See, it's something else to this story.
Other parts to play.
I can already tell one of my favorite sayings is coming out. This is old for new. This is something else old that's going on, and you was waiting, and now something has finally come, this new thing, and you giving all those punishments from that old stuff for this new situation.
I don't know how would he know? How would she know how he treated her?
You remember how we was reading that one story and the guy was talking about the girl that he hit up at the bar or something like that?
Oh, yeah. And then he ended up leaving the girl.
He kept describing her as his first love. And I'm like, bro, was he married? I think he was married at the time.
He was engaged.
He was engaged. He was talking about his first love.
No, the first love story was the one where the guy would do lucid dreams on purpose. That was the first love. That guy kept talking about it was his crush, and she didn't know he existed. I didn't even remember.
Okay, maybe I'm blending stories together. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is the language that you use is what's coming out of you. It's hard to deceive yourself. Because when somebody asks you and you use those level of passionate words, that's the truth coming out. And I feel like I'm happy in my relationship is different. This is just me kind of picking in her, the way her thought process is, right? When she's asking this whole thing, I'm happy in my relationship in this text message, and I'm happy because I took a year off and found a way to be at peace, in so many words. And I have these kids and stepdaughter now, no mention of her, could set her off. I can see it.
But you as a man,
me as a man,
reading his text message,
just reading this text message, I think that, so first thought, I think that if he wouldn't have messed up, they would still be together.
He didn't mess up. How do you know he messed up?
Because he said, I'm sorry for the role I had to play.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's the one who messed up.
He had a role in it.
He had a role in her in messing her up, but not the reason why they broke up. We don't know what the reason is.
Well, I don't know.
To me, that was him taking responsibility for any part that he had to play in treating her poorly.
I'm sorry. No, what? I'm not apologizing for something I did not do.
It's about closure.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm not saying no. I no. The man, to me, this was, I'm being kind and letting you down. I don't want to rub it in your face that I am happy now.
So you
and
just
I
don't
told
mention,
you so because that
mention
person
your
you're
significant
with.
other?
But she's mentioned and implied by saying stepdaughter.
Implied, okay. Implied.
Who's father of you? What stepdaughter? There's another person who birthed these kids. So I'm a stepfather now. Like, my life is in a different path to yours.
So let's ask the question.
I'm just saying
if I'm texting somebody and said,
I am a different person.
You are the same person. You're not the different person. You do not think different than other women. You might make different decisions, but you don't think differently.
Let me tell you something.
Here's the thing. If I was to text somebody tonight, my ex texts me and I said, listen, man, I'm happy, with my life now. I've come at peace. It's been a long time since we spoke. My life is good, and I got my daughter now, so I'm okay. And I don't make mention of you. Are you okay with that?
But you saying you have a daughter doesn't mean that the stepdaughter's part, because you could have a daughter and be single.
Okay,
the I can say implies you're in an active relationship.
If you had a kid and I said I have my daughter and I have my stepdaughters, and I don't mention you, you're okay with that?
You're not sending a text without letting me know that. This whole
thing. That's my point.
No,
even
not telling her is a problem.
So let's just get that out of here.
Yes.
That's the first problem. The second problem is no mention of her. There should have, bruh. I promise you, if you text the guy,
let's remember that we don't know the crazy level of this girl.
We don't. But
so the
crazy level,
if I mention this, or that's gonna set her off.
She already set off because he said F off from the beginning.
That might not, because there are couples that used to say F off all the time.
Man, look.
That's all I'm saying. I thought it was a gentle letdown.
This to me, you asking about a man. Mm-hmm. And the way I would have read that text, if you sent that text to somebody, I'm gonna be like, happy now, you took a year off, you're happy now, and you got this kid and your stepkid, and I'm like, so my mention about how happy you are with our relationship,
because I'm not trying to rub this person in their face with the awful relationship that they're having. The reason why you reached out to me is
care about my ex relationship with the other person that I told them don't get with them anyway?
I think she's reading way too deep into it to be.
Quite possibly. Here's where we are, right? If you care about your relationship, just move on. It's silly. You care about your relationship. If you want to be with them, make that decision to be with them. Let this silly stuff go. The problem is he ain't tell you. You ask him why he ain't tell you. If he got a reasonable reason for not telling you, because he felt like you was going to go off the rails for texting again or whatever, then fine. Decide if you're going to let it go or you're going to hold on to it forever. And if you're going to hold on to it forever, break up today. It's not breakup worthy. It's, all right, he'll know better next time. It was a
flag to let him know I wasn't okay with that. A discussion needs to be had.
A discussion needs to be had, and then you need to let it go. If you still want to be in a relationship. That's not a big enough deal for me, personally, to be like, I'm finna break up with you.
Right. No. And to me, he made it clear that he's in a relationship by saying he has stepdaughters. He didn't have to say
Personally, that's not good enough for me.
Okay, but he did say.
He said it.
I'm happy.
He said it.
I've got my son and my stepdaughters, meaning I'm in a relationship right now.
I just don't believe. I don't believe.
If she's in the throes of an awful relationship and she feels like, her eyes watering, she feels like, I should go back to you because you treated me so well. Yeah, there's no need to be like, well, my relationship is amazing and this woman is fantastic.
I wouldn't even, that's why I was at the beginning. Like, if it were me, honestly, I wouldn't even reply. I'd just like, man, have a nice day. Like, thanks, but no thanks. I'm good.
Someone's response to what she said. Yeah, you're being crazy. While he didn't name you directly, there's no doubt about who he's happy with. He's happy where he is. Don't keep pushing this and push him away because you can't control your crazy. Right. There's nothing in that text to worry about. And someone else says, you're being way too sensitive. He told her he's moved on, giving them both closure and telling the ex he has a new partner. What did you want to be mentioned by name?
But okay. Here's the thing, right? If there was more that's going on in this situation, meaning she's been a constant topic, kind of coming up periodically, floating around, and then she finally got bold enough to be like, hey, we need to give us another shot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like how people be breaking up and be trying to still be. This is the problem with circle people. Like, if they still got the same circle of friends.
Right. Because you know what's going on with them. You see them. You hear about them.
In the same circle of friends.
They might show up at an event.
One person have a birthday party. You going to see them again. Like, that type of stuff. When you're dating somebody inside the circle and then, you see them again. And then you're dealing with all of the people who are around. Like, I'm not an advocate for that.
It's tough.
It's super tough. But she might have got bold and be like, you know what? He's still being decent to me. He still speaks when we're in public. Every time I bump into him, it's all love. Maybe he's...
That's Love Jones' storyline. Circle. With the other guy.
Yeah, there we go.
Woody and stuff. Anyways.
All right, we can move on.
All right, this is from the subreddit, Am I Overreacting?
Story 2. We like those too. We
BF like made reference during.
Made what?
Reference during.
Sex.
Ready?
Well, I was waiting for the sentence to finish.
That's it. You knew what you meant. He made a reference during the things.
Okay.
I, 37 female, was having sex with my 39 male fiance.
Okay.
I was on top doing my thing. He starts laughing. I was confused and asked him what was funny. He made a reference about me looking like the penguin.
Oh my God.
I'm heavier and was wearing a white tank top.
Hold on. Stop.
It's awful.
Stop.
That's awful.
But that's awful to say.
I was still confused. He then pulls up a picture of the penguin from Batman with his disgusting face and white shirt moving in an obvious way that resembled me.
I remember he even had one where he had the dingy wife beater on too. It's bad. It's bad.
I'm not usually overly sensitive and can take a joke, but this made me angry. Yeah. Very angry. I already really struggle with self-worth, especially in the bedroom. It led to an all-day issue. He apologized, but it meant nothing to me. Am I overreacting?
No.
You're not overreacting, girl. That's a kick to the curb situation. That's a humiliating thing to say to anybody, even if the person is wildly attractive and stunningly gorgeous. You look like they're laughing while the person's on top, and you say you look like the penguin. It's
oh my God.
done. You just want to kill them all. Maybe he gets some thrills from humiliating her, because that's not something you would just start laughing and say that. Hey, something's wrong with you, buddy. You're not trying to have sex. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not trying to have sex. You're trying to humiliate.
Yeah. No, you're not overreacting. That's wild. That is wild. I have no comments, really.
Okay, well, here's what she said. So if someone said something, and this is her response to what the person said. He generally doesn't make comments about my body, mostly because I think he's afraid to. But yes, he has in the past while having sex. Once he made reference...
Wait a second. Why is he doing it while having sex consistently?
Something is wrong with him.
Oh my gosh.
Once he made reference of me looking like a dinosaur because my hand was kind of up. And another that he wanted to push on my stomach and make me laugh like the Pillsbury Doughboy. And while on top, his preference.
No.
And usually I could just laugh stuff off, but this was too much. I should mention he's not some super skinny dude himself and can out-eat me. I'm top heavy in the way my breasts are really large.
I don't like
This man doesn't deserve this woman.
I don't like it.
It's disgusting. That is awful.
I don't like it. The consistent berating,
especially during that time. So I was like, he must like humiliating. He gets off on that because there's no reason for this.
And
just to break her down, like something's wrong with you, buddy.
But it's weird that it only happens during sex.
Yeah, because that's what he likes, making her feel small. Like that's awful. That's a reason to break up.
Yeah, that's giving me I'm inadequate, so I have to do something to make you feel small, so I won't be the focus of criticism, so to speak.
That one floored you, huh? You don't even know what else to say.
Yes, penguin.
That's really bad. The penguin is grotesque.
Yeah, we talking about kind of greasy.
But they
head.
also did the ugly nose, and like they made him grotesque.
This new penguin is less grotesque than the old one, because who popped in my head is Batman Returns penguin. Yeah, that's rough, man. Yeah. Now, had he been like regular penguin and not the Batman character, I'm like, okay, I can see, because those penguins are kind of. No, I'm just
listen. Let me tell you something.
It's kind of cute penguins.
You must also know that she has some kind of self-worth, some self-consciousness going on. Second of all, that's the worst time. Absolutely not. I don't like it.
Insulting you over and over again.
And the thing is, his preference is her on top. You want to see that, and then you come into this thing?
No.
Your lazy self.
I'm going to have to get at a vote of no confidence.
Boop.
You're not overreacting. You might not be reacting enough. The fact that you're typing this on Reddit, asking questions, makes me feel like...
It was like a whole meme where people were like, people trying to do what the guys do and guys trying to do what the girls do, and then each side saw how difficult it was. Yeah. Appreciate what people be doing for you.
Yeah. Knees. She's on top.
Leave that man.
And top heavy and big, and he big. This Danny Glover sweating on you. And
stop. I don't care about big, small, whatever. It's throwing insults at any point in time is awful. But making fun of people, like how we were talking about making fun of someone's
something they can't fix.
Yeah, something they can't fix. Yeah. Like I don't. Just.
I'm not with it.
Walk away from that. Cut your losses.
Not
fiance, no fiance. I don't care who it is. All right. Next one. This is from Am I the A-hole?
Oh, we love those.
Am I the A-hole for convincing my best friend to kick out 2 drunk women after his birthday party? Okay.
Kick out 2 drunk women after his birthday party. No. Go ahead.
My best friend hosted his birthday at his apartment yesterday night. There was a lot of booze and a lot of people. The party started around 8 and went until 1. By about 1:30, most people had gotten their way home. Mm-hmm. There were a few different designated drivers, except for a small group of women. I will admit, I made the jungle juice a little stronger than I intended. That's a bunch of alcohol mixed together, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But I was not trying to get anyone drunk. Okay, first of all, yes, you were. There's a whole reason to make jungle juice is to get people drunk. And then you made it stronger than what you thought it would be. In fact, I hate being around drunk women. They just make me very uncomfortable, and I like to have a few other non-drunk female witnesses around whenever I'm near a drunk woman. I was too drunk to drive, and these two drunk girls were not having a good time. They were hurling in the toilet. My friend offered to let the 3 of us crash at his place. They were fine with it, but I was immediately uncomfortable. I pulled my friend aside and asked if we really need to let them stay. He said, yeah, he got an air mattress just for this reason.
No.
I tried to be upfront about it. These 2 girls were very drunk and are not as drunk as me and him. I said it would make me very uncomfortable to have to spend the night with these women. It took some convincing, but eventually I got him to kick these girls out. They were upset, but it's not really either of our faults that they didn't prepare. They somehow got home, so they were fine. Come morning, one of these girls was blowing up my phone, telling me that I was a huge dick to convince him not to let them stay. A bunch of people are saying I need to apologize, but honestly, I feel like it's not something I need to apologize for. I voiced that I was uncomfortable with them being there, and my friend wanted me to feel more comfortable. There's nothing bad about that. If there is, then kick me up. Am I the a-hole?
So, no.
Really?
I'm saying no because this is how you end up on the news. So
if you do something to the girls, yes.
How you end up on the news. And you don't even have to do something.
You end up on the news because you let them go and something happens to them. That's how you end up on the news.
You call them an Uber.
You didn't do that, though.
I don't know what he did after they left, but they should have called them an Uber themselves. Come back and get your car in the morning when you good. If they drove over there, if they kicked them out, like, no. Bruh, I'm sorry, but accusations of they pushed up on me.
People get hurt in Ubers too, though, Byron.
Okay.
But there's no need for... The thing about it is that, okay, they were drunk. Letting 2 drunk girls leave your house is wild to me without taking care of anything.
They gotta, yeah. I think...
Here's what I would have done.
Stop them before they got that drunk.
It's too late. There's a bunch of people. You're a grown person. I'm not looking after people.
If you're a grown person, then you can't stay in my house. I'm sorry. All of y'all got to get out. I'm sorry. We got to figure a way home. We got to call a cab. Police escort. I don't know what we got to do. You got to get home.
There are like apps like that would like a designated driver type of app that you can get a sober person to come pick these people up and make sure that they get home. Mm-hmm. I, as a man with 2 drunk girls, I don't want anything to happen to them, but I also don't want them throwing up and staying in my house.
That is correct.
So I would have taken an Uber with them, sat in the front, made sure they get home, and took an Uber back to my own place.
That's a lot.
That's what I would have had to do.
That's a lot. I would have...
I mean, you could do the Uber and send them, but also you're liable if they throw up in that Uber.
You know what? Because
what's he scared of? Why is he so scared of being around drunk girls? Is he scared of what he might do?
Maybe. Possibly. But...
It's weird.
The thing is, it could have been being in a situation like that before and being accused. You don't even have to do something to anybody.
Yeah.
If you get into that situation, it's like, listen, I done been here before. And it's a whole ordeal, even if you did nothing. Girls. And we don't know them like that. Right. So if you got a close female friend, hey, can you drive these people home? Can we arrange it? You in my bathroom throwing up? You should have left 2 hours ago, ma'am. I don't care what you got to do. you got to get up out of here.
Because then the girls would be like, well, they could wake up and have allegations, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Did anything happen? I don't know.
I don't remember. I was so drunk. I think, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Here's what the vote was. What do you think the vote was?
They probably called him A.O.
They did. It says, top vote was, you're the a-hole. It was between your comfort and their safety. I think their safety is more important. What about them makes you uncomfortable? It would be weird if they were complete strangers. But then again, they're drunk enough to be puking already. They're not going to be wanting to do anything but sleep.
But are they complete strangers or are they friends? Because that's the vibe I didn't get. It's a house party. So we used to throw Super Bowl parties, right?
He wouldn't have said these two drunk girls. He would have said our friends, such and such and such and such.
And that's the
he
thing.
Never would have mentioned two friends. There are probably people they knew of, but didn't know them like that.
Right. So we used to throw Super Bowl parties, and at first it was okay. It's a few of them, you know, a few of my friends from college, and then there was a few people from high school, and we all came together, had a good time. By the time, I don't know, like that third or fourth, maybe fifth year of doing it, it started being people, and it was like, ding dong, okay, who are you? Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, well, I'm such and such a friend. I'm like, I don't even know that person that well.
Yeah,
like I met them
to me
once.
Too many times, yeah.
And it's like, once you get that, and that person is throwing up,
things get out of hand.
You need to leave.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't have alcohol at my party because I didn't drink. You know, I'm like, bring your own beer. You up to do what you want to do. But if you get too sloppy, you got to get up out of here because you are not breaking anything in my house. I'm sorry. I don't know you. So you need to care. You need to govern yourself accordingly, like you're in somebody's house that you don't know. This is not that type of party. And when the game over, we gonna chill for a little bit if I know you. So a few times, like it was one time we all went out to Waffle House and tripped out afterwards. It was a great time, but that was the close friends and everybody else left. Mm-hmm. And it's like the close friends can stay. You cannot spend the night.
Right. The thing is, you are responsible. You had the party. You are responsible. You can't put the person out and say, go home, especially if they're going to drive home, because you're responsible for that. So if anything happens to them or anybody else, you're responsible for that. So it's like you needed to make sure that the girls. So I think the best thing would have been
Uber
calling you. Who is your friend? Like, can we call somebody on your phone for them to come get you? No? Okay, well, I'm going to tell your friend. I'm going to call one of your friends. It's 1 a.m. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say, listen, such and such is very drunk right now. I'm going to put her in her Uber to her address. Can you check up on her and make sure she gets home and stuff like that? Because the responsibility has to move off. Because you're just being nice at that point.
Right.
He's too drunk to drive them home, so it's his friend. The friend is thinking he's doing something responsible by saying, hey, here's an air mattress, because he has no intentions. The guy may or may not have intentions. I don't know, because he says, I don't like drunk women.
Right.
So something may have happened, or he might have seen somebody,
or something happened,
somebody close to him, or his father was like, "Don't be around no drunk woman." Da, da, da. Who knows what the reason why? But he's like, even if they do, I like non-drunk women around me in the presence of drunk women, so I can have a witness. Right. That's a lot of thought.
He's protecting himself from the sounds of it, and that's a smart man in my book. Protecting yourself from the you got to go home or you got to get up out of here. I want you to be safe, but it's not going to be on me and your word against mine, all that silly stuff. Nope.
Someone else says, you're the a-hole. If you were that uncomfortable, you should have been the one to leave. That also
he could have. That else, okay, that makes sense. Let me just get up out of here.
You get your stuff.
But this is the problem. The problem is they are strangers from the sound of it. Mm-hmm. This is your homeboy. So now I'm thinking. You sleep
there all the time, probably.
Right.
But the thing is, if you're that concerned.
Now I'm concerned about my friend. I know how situations happen. I know how some of these super drunk girls
But if you're that uncomfortable, you should leave because the friend has no problem with it. The girls have no problem with it.
But I would have a problem with them, with somebody doing something to my friend is what I guess the way he's thinking.
You wouldn't be, it's not your you can't stop that from happening. You should
He
be like,
did
listen,
stop that from
I
happening.
wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I were you, but since these girls are, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm out of here. That's what you should have done. That's what should have happened.
And if they set your friend up, then what?
That's on him because he said okay.
Okay.
That's on him.
I'm different.
That's on him. The thing is, he had no problem with it. He bought the air mattress for that. Cool. I'm never doing that. But
Very true.
Cool.
He did buy the air mattress for us, so he was ready for that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm having the party. This is what's going on, and you leave. That was the best solution. Yep. This person found the best solution.
Yep.
You go home and you take your Uber home.
Yep.
That's it.
Got smooth up out of there. Can't do it. Hop up out that house, being on that Uber, and yeah, nope.
Okay. You want another story, or that's it?
We can do one more. I think one of them was fairly short, no?
The penguin one.
It's very short. Like the penguin, he short.
Stop it. It's silly. All right. Am I the a-hole subreddit?
We love it.
Am I the a-hole for not locking up my edibles, resulting in my niece getting high as if? I live in Colorado, a legal state.
Okay.
I'm a 35-year-old woman. Mm-hmm. For many women, unwinding means a bottle of wine. For me, I prefer to pop an edible or two and relax in front of a paint canvas, my sewing machine, etc.
Okay.
My sister's husband had an emergency that resulted in her needing to quickly find a sitter for her 9-year-old. I like my niece and I obviously wanted to help out my sister, but warned her that she'd probably be bored at my place since we don't have a lot of kid-friendly stuff. She wasn't bored.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
At one point after she dropped her off with some books, I got up to take a shower. I'm pretty sure this is when it happened. About an hour or so later, I noticed niece hadn't said anything for a while. I went over to the couch to see what was up, and she's just staring at the ceiling with one of her books on her stomach. I asked her if she's okay and immediately knew something was up. She said, "I ate some of your candy and it made me feel funny." She had, in fact, eaten several of the sour gummies Jesus. I had on my dresser. That I hadn't thought to lock up or anything like that because I'm a 35-year-old woman who doesn't need to think about things like that. Ever. Like ever. I panicked. She seemed fine. I called poison control and called her mom and panicked a lot more. I felt awful. It hadn't even occurred to me that this is a thing that would happen. Honestly, I did not foresee this happening at all. Niece is completely fine. She ended up falling asleep after asking me for a grilled cheese sandwich with cut up hot dogs in it and asked if we could watch a movie. I stayed with her, kept her hydrated, etc., and apologized at least 6 million times to my sister, who was horrified and actually screamed at me. Once again, my niece is fine. Even my parents are in on it, blaming me and telling me I should have those things in a safe where nobody could get to them.
That's ridiculous.
How could I possibly think it was okay to have them around a child? No one should ever let their kids around me, because next time I might even give them a beer, etc., etc.
Oh my gosh.
And I've been uninvited from anywhere that my niece will be.
Wow. Because
they think somehow I planned this for this to happen.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I feel awful. Like I've said a million times, but I really don't think I'm an a-hole for this happening. I didn't do it on purpose. I never needed to lock up my edibles before, for the same reason I would never lock up a bottle of wine. My sister called me in panic. It wasn't like I thought, oh my God, I need to immediately childproof my home. But am I the a-hole here? Do I really deserve what's happening now?
You know, I saw a video going around, and the people, and I think they got arrested. They thought it was funny they gave a little toddler some marijuana. Did you see that?
No. I would be.
They had him smoking. And I think they got arrested for it or whatever.
Good.
And it's like that. If she gave it to her so that she could be amused to watch this little girl be high, that would be like, yo, this is terrible for her to do this to somebody else's kid.
Or even if it was her own.
Even if it was her own, or even if she did it with an adult, like to do something to somebody without their knowledge, and then they get messed up behind it, is an a-hole move, right? For the little girl to grab some thinking it was candy, that's an honest mistake.
Okay.
I think that it would have been, it's an a-hole move if she was dismissive about it. To be like, oh, no, you know, guys, I'm an adult. Like, this is what's happening. Da, 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 da. Like, it's not
She's fine, whatever.
She's fine. Like, if she tried to dismiss it, that would be more of a problem for me. The fact that she took ownership and was like,
called poison control,
listen,
kept her
I
hydrated.
called all these things. I watched her. I made sure she was straight. I think it's a bit rough to be like, guess what? You can never see your niece again. Every time she's around, you can't be around. It's like, you think I just got drugs on me all the time to just give kids and hand it out like it's Halloween? Like, what do you think is happening here? You see what I'm saying? Like,
so this is why I'm not smiling. Well, let me give my thing first. You see, I don't like misbehaved kids.
So you want to put drugs on her?
No, that's not what it was.
Yeah, I don't like misbehaved kids.
Here's
she was
what
so
was
calm
missing
with
from
the
that.
book on
Here's
top
what
of
I've
it.
eliminated. Stop. Here's what would have eliminated this thing. Auntie, can I have some of this candy?
Oh my God.
That was missing. When you grow up, we call it brought up. See, when you grow up with manners, that's what should have happened. Hey, Auntie, there's some candy here.
You built like
it sounds like you're never at Auntie's house, right? Because it's like, oh my goodness, this is like once in a million thing. You just come in Auntie's house and eat up candy.
That's not how we move.
Ask.
Don't come in my house and take nothing without asking.
And it's on her dresser. It wasn't in the kitchen, like a regular piece of candy. Right. This is in her bedroom, on her dresser. You went in there while she was showering and you ate up the candy. So you need to teach your child
to respect people's stuff.
And ask. And then you eat several of them. I know if you buy a bag of edibles, it's not an abundance of them.
Yeah.
So you eat down the pack. Yeah. Greed. Okay. No brought up, see, and greed. I have a problem with.
Yeah.
But you know, some people are like, oh, she's 9, she's a kid. That's what kids do.
No way.
That's what misbehaved kids do.
That is very true.
When you go into Auntie's house, you ask her.
Can I have?
You don't just come and braps open up the fridge. You have to open up the fridge and say, "Can I go into the fridge?
Don't come
can
in
I get
my
some
house
snacks?
and
Don't
open up nothing without asking me.
Ask me. This is what kids do to grown-ups, okay? So that being said, it's already done. I was in the shower. She greed out herself and went and got the candy and ate up the candy. And then you realize this thing.
I almost saw God.
She probably did see God.
I could see the music.
And this was an honest mistake. But I'm smiling because I could see, coming from the West Indies, Caribbean people, like, and you did it on purpose. You must see, you have a problem. Because they're going to blame her for having drugs around. You must have been wanting to, like, it just could spiral into the most base, like, you'll never see this child again.
Right.
You're a danger to children. Nobody child should be around you. And it's like, guys,
chill out.
Guys. She's just living her regular life and you came and disrupted it a little bit. For them to expect you to have a safe, why would I have a safe to put my edibles in?
Bruh.
Get out of here.
That's not a thing.
Another it's like how you brought up Halloween where people are giving drugs, watch the candy, and
right.
Like people are not handing out. Like, we don't participate in Halloween for different reasons.
Drugs are expensive.
Nobody's
giving them out to kids.
Nobody's trying to give it out to kids to see what they would do to kids, okay?
Ooh, let me see if I can get some kids high and I'm not even going to see it. The thing about if I was going to give something to the kids, I want to watch them get high. Like, urban eat it so I can see you, so I can laugh and have a good time. No.
Ridiculous. But them spiraling out of control and banning her from seeing it
is insane.
It's too much. But I could see how the mom would be upset, because if that happened to my child, better believe I would be very upset.
I get it. No, I get it. My thing is this, right?
I would take her to the doctor, make sure this and that. And, I would be...
When they talk about... My problem is the whole banning her from all family events that the little girl's going to be at.
Like she's in danger to children.
That part is a little out of pocket. Like, so I can't come around the family at all or see my niece ever, even when her mom is there supposedly protecting her.
But the thing is,
You think I'm gonna just
where
sneak you
did
around
all
the
of
corner?
that, and then be like, here's some brownies.
You want another gummy?
But the people are thinking you're a drug addict now. That's where that's why you're not allowed around my child, because you're gonna influence her to be. She probably already thinks you're the cool aunt. She said she does a few edibles and sits there and paints or sews. She sounds super dope.
Yeah.
So
pun intended.
Right. So the kid is probably like, Auntie's so cool. And then now Auntie's a drug addict. So no, we're not going to keep you around, Auntie. We don't want you to influence her in any other way.
Right.
So it's unfortunate, but she's not an a-hole. She handled it. To me, she handled it as... Because some people wouldn't tell the parent, you know?
That would have been
a different just freak out and
like, I'm
call the doctor, make sure she's good, and then don't tell your mom this, okay?
Right, don't say nothing.
Don't say anything. But she called and she apologized, and everybody knows. So
and even tell the kid that they're high. Just call the doctor, make sure they're good. And then, what happened? That candy was so good, was it?
Well, she ate several. She doesn't know what's that going to do to a kid. It could have killed her. Who knows?
It could have, but she's fine.
I don't know if weed can kill people. Weed has never been documented that it kills
marijuana
people.
Killing anything.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
So the cop comment, not the a-hole. It's your house. You don't normally have kids, right? I don't lock my stuff up either, but I'm also adamant that people shouldn't go into my room. I think your sister needs to teach her kid not to eat random things in other people's houses.
That part.
Brought up C.
Don't
teach it.
Come in my house.
Now, if she was 5, 4, 3, those things are, I understand. Well, you wouldn't leave a 3-year-old to go take a shower anyway. Or even a 5-year-old. I wouldn't leave my daughter. But if you're 35 without kids, living a childless life, you might stay here, go on the iPad, don't watch this. But I could see a 5-year-old climbing up and doing that.
Getting some candy and she's too big for that.
But 9?
She's too big. So that being said, just say no. Say no to drugs. I had another saying I wanted to say. Don't do drunk women in your house that you don't know. I don't care. No. Gotta find a way home. Figure something out.
He should have left.
Sending
them out is the dangerous thing, Byron.
If I'm the homeowner, you cannot stay here.
I know.
I'm watching you before you get that drunk.
You can't. He said that, listen.
I know what he said.
The party is a lot of people. A lot of people had designated drivers. He didn't know who they were with to be able. So other people were probably
Strangers
just
gotta
as
go
drunk.
home. You gotta go home.
Yeah, but now they don't have a driver.
We're gonna find you a driver.
It's 1 a.m.
We're going to find you a driver.
How do you get a driver?
I don't know. Cabs, Ubers.
They're gonna vomit in the Uber.
Then we're taking bags with them. Paper bags from the kitchen, plastic bags.
The Uber is not going to even let them in
I
their
don't
car.
know, but they got to find a way home. I don't care, but they can't stay here. They can't stay here. You cannot stay here. We figuring that thing out. What can I buy to help you sober up? All right. So, do me a favor. Like. Make a comment. Subscribe. Share. Find a way to enjoy the remainder of your day. Watch the other videos. Like and comment on them. We'd appreciate it. Thank you again.
Bye.
Goodbye.